Denny, great playing 64 in those conditions. What was clicking for you, and how do you feel
Thanks,
about
bro.
the day? Yes, sir.
It felt nice to shoot a good score. Haven't played all that great lately, but I put a lot of work in this week and started to see some good form the last few days. It's not that easy right now. It wasn't that easy yesterday afternoon either. Seems like our wave kind of got the bulk of the wind. I hope it kind of stays like this for everyone because it was kind of nasty out there at times. Yeah, I'm just proud of how I kind of battled. It was just really tricky. It would blow 25 1 minute, then it'd drop down to 15, and then it'd go to 5 and kick back up. And so when it's really gusty like that, and changing directions a little bit, so when it's really gusty like that, it's hard to get the yardages right. Also makes putting really difficult too when the wind's just gusting. It just changes how much a putt breaks or how fast the putt is, and so it was a little uncomfortable coming down on the back nine for sure.
When you see the forecast like that in the morning, do you naturally enjoy those conditions, or what's your kind of mental approach to that?
I do enjoy these conditions. I mean, my weather app said, 14, 15, 16 miles an hour. And it's a liar because it was blowing like 25 to 30 on the range, it felt like this morning. It was umbrellas were kind of blowing around. People were kind of just laughing, hitting balls. Balls were, the range is really exposed, and it was blowing really hard in off the left. I mean, we were watching balls go nowhere and sail, 50, 60 yards offline. So I think it was kind of like a lower your expectations, just kind of go out, try and hit the shot as best you can and move on type of day. I like those days. It's where I don't really have many expectations. I kind of get out of golf swing too. You kind of start playing shots. You start countering the wind with certain shots, or kind of just, playing with the wind on certain shots, not trying to be too perfect, just kind of trying to picture a shot and hit it.
Along those same lines, when you were warming up and seeing shots flying around like that, did you think 64 was out there?
It's hard to say. I didn't think there was an 8 under out there yesterday afternoon, and obviously the best player in the world shot that. Shane and I were talking. If somebody shot like 5 to 8 under yesterday afternoon, that would have been really, really good because it was starting to blow, and the direction it was coming from made some of those holes really hard. Yeah. And sure enough, we got in, and he was 9 under through 15. So, it's always out there. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody shot what I shot or a couple better today. I wouldn't really say I had a number in mind of what I could potentially shoot today. Like I said, I was just kind of going out shot at a time. Sounds cliche, but just trying to piece together, kind of build around, piece shot after shot.
By your standards, yesterday was actually a tough day putting, and you mentioned that you're putting in a lot of work on other parts of your game. Your ball striking stuff actually this week has been pretty solid. What have you been working on, and does one bad day on the greens actually get into your head and force you to sort of think about anything? Or
No, I didn't really roll it that bad yesterday. It's just such a dramatic change from last week to this week. Greens being really fast and slopey last week, and then not as much slope, and they seemed pretty slow yesterday. They might have been prepping for the amount of wind today. So I didn't really feel like I rolled it that bad yesterday. I hit a lot of putts that were good putts, burned edges, so it was a little frustrating because it felt like I could have got maybe a 3 to 5 under out of the round yesterday, and I didn't. I think most of my ball striking stuff comes when I creep into bad tendencies, and it's typically posture and how I start my swing. So if I can get that stuff feeling comfortable, I feel like, at the top of my swing, I feel like I'm going to hit a good shot coming through. When it's not going well, it feels like I'm fighting it and have to compensate. So it's felt better the last few days. I think I can still improve on it. Just got to, like I said, trying to keep stacking days is important for me right now.
It seems like when guys come in and they're talking about how they're working on things, more often than not, it's like this really unglamorous, much more the fundamental stuff. How often do you think people outside the ropes don't really appreciate that those are the very simple things oftentimes that may end up tripping you guys up? Yeah,
it is the simple kind of fundamental stuff for me, and I try and keep the game really simple. When I start worrying about too much about what the club's doing is typically when I'm not playing my best. it's like I work on the stuff on the range, and then it's like I get on the course and I'm still doing the same stuff. I'm still picturing. I might have that small key in my head, but I'm still going out. It becomes almost like a different sport when you get on the range. You got to kind of forget what you're doing on the range and then just go out and kind of picture, play, and hope that some of those feels that you've been working on the range have kind of seeped into, your on-course stuff.
On the lighter side of things, sometimes when you destroy a ball off the tee, fans shout out some crazy things sometimes. Out of curiosity, what are your thoughts on that, and what are maybe some of the more fun ones you might have heard?
I don't mind it. I think it's a fun part of the game. Obviously you hear the Baba Booey, and, you hear all these, some of these other ones that you've heard for such a long time. I don't mind it. I think it's fans just trying to have fun out there, and, maybe they've got fans listening, like, hey, listen to, I'm with Rory, listen to his 6 tee shot. I'm going to yell something. It could be stuff like that. I think it's just a fun part of the game.
Was Oakmont exhausting at all, would you say? And did you take any, extra time to rest after that?
Typically I would, but I felt like I needed some work. I was on the range from 2 to 6:30 on Monday afternoon. I typically don't like to hit balls for that long, but I put a really good session in on Monday afternoon. Oakmont was very exhausting. Part of, you kind of need to throw it out the window, but at the same time, I feel like I learned a lot. Like, if you're not on your game, you get really exposed in certain areas. So it really kind of showed me what I really need to work on, what I need to get more comfortable with. So I had a pretty good sense of things I had to work on coming into this week.
And are you following the NBA Finals at all?
I am. It's just hard, man. It's like this game started at 8:30. They don't tip till like 8:40, 8:45, and I have the first half on, and I'd like to watch the second half, but I'd also like to go to bed at a reasonable time. So I don't really want to be staying up till 11:30 to watch these games. They could put them at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, don't you think? But I am a big basketball fan. My caddy's a huge Thunder fan, so he's been staying up late. It's okay if he goes to bed late, but Game 7 Sunday night, I believe, right? 8 or 8 o'clock, 8:30. They moved that one to 8, I think. Probably 8:15 tip off, I bet. But it'll. I'd like to watch it if I can.
So you'll be rooting for the Thunder for your caddy?
I guess for my caddy's sake, but I do like the Pacers. I think the Pacers are fun to watch.
Awesome. Sweet. Thank you, Denny.